Live. She usually runs straight, but I got to double check just to make sure that the audio's um decent. Test, 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 test. All right. All right, she coming through pretty good. And, all right, y'all, let's clap it up. Let me get started, man. All right, we are the ISUPK. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commandant General Yohana. We've been bringing out the truth of the Bible since 1969, that every so-called Black, so-called Hispanic, and so-called Native American are the true children of Israel, are the 12 tribes, you understand, that make up the house of Israel. And we are the Most High's chosen people, and the words and the instructions and the history and the blueprint that's written in the Bible is for us and no one else. Okay? The ISUPK has been bringing out this truth because we as a people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And that is the very knowledge that we have been deprived of that has led to our destruction. Our enemy, the so-called oppressor, has taken advantage of that lack of knowledge. Our oppressor has not only stripped us of that knowledge, stripped us of that heritage, you understand, blocked us from our true identities and covered it up and hidden it. But what he's done is even more so egregious, in a sense that he's replaced what we're supposed to be with what he believes. You understand? He's taken the practice and the culture that the Most High gave his children and replaced it with his own silly culture. You understand? So you've got American culture, you've got Chinese culture, you've got, African culture. You've got, each culture kind of has its unique principles. You understand? It has its own identity, its own way of doing things that it, holds as important. Well, the Bible for the children of Israel has its own set of principles and values and things that are important. It's code of conduct, it's code of ethics, it's do's and don'ts, it's rules. You understand? And we as a people have lost that knowledge. We've lost that guidance. We've lost that instruction. But the ISUPK is bringing that instruction back to the people of the Most High. You understand? And that's why every night we've got classes, all across this globe. Every Saturday we've got our Sabbath services, and we've got our brothers out on the street corners bringing out this truth. You understand? And it is such an important thing because it is the only solution to all of our problems. All of the problems that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have on a daily basis can't be solved by doing the same things that we've been doing leading up to now. Because obviously those attempted solutions haven't worked. Those things have failed to actually teach us what's right and what's wrong. You understand? To teach us how we should and shouldn't be, how we should and shouldn't behave, And, it's a shame because this Bible is full of information. It's full of very specific instructions for each and every one of us on how we should conduct ourselves. You understand? So tonight's topic is going to be dealing with the Most High teaching our women how to be virtuous. The Most High teaches our women, the women of Israel, you understand, how to be virtuous, Does anyone know what the word virtuous means? Before we get too heavy into it, it's important that you understand what virtuous means. Anybody? Aliyah?
Having or showing high moral standards.
Having or showing high moral standards. Now, the Most High in this in the Bible, and we're certainly going to pull out the scriptures where the Most High is teaching his daughters, you understand, his princesses, how to be virtuous. And what I want you, what I want us to do today is to compare that to the way that our oppressor teaches our women to be. And I'm hoping that this illustrates exactly what I mean when I say that the truth of this Bible is what will fix our people. You understand? Coming into the culture that the Most High set out for his people will fix the problems that we have in our families, in our relationships between our brothers and our sisters. You understand? Like, this is a clear example of how the Most High's culture is more beneficial and more wise than our oppressors' implementation, or what our oppressor pushes on our women and tries to encourage them, to do, and how to behave and how to think. You understand? So we're going to jump right into the scriptures. Past few classes, I've kind of not hit all the scriptures that I wanted to hit. I'm going into tonight knowing that I'm not going to hit all the scriptures that I want to hit, but we're going to hit a lot of scriptures tonight, just so it's crystal clear that people understand in the ISUPK, we don't just come in here, we don't just make stuff up. You understand? Everything we do is based out of this Bible. From the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, the things that we implement in our lives daily come out of the Bible, man. We take this whole thing seriously. You get that? So let's go to Proverbs 31 and 10. Get one of the brothers read Proverbs 31 and 10. Then we're going to talk about, we're going to compare that to how our oppressor, what would be considered normal in our oppressor society in terms of our sisters and their behavior. What would be considered their right to do so, or what would be glorified, what will be put on a pedestal, what people will stand and cheer about in terms of our sisters and their conduct. Okay? One of you brothers got that? Nice and loud.
Proverbs chapter 31, verse 10.
Proverbs chapter 31, verse 10. Go ahead.
Who can find a virtuous woman?
This is asking a question. Who can find a virtuous woman? Where's what does a virtuous woman look like? Who would be considered a virtuous woman? If you look in this society, you look at the women who are, let's say, the most popular. You know what I mean? Or let's say like the most successful. Like let's take some, popular names. Let's take like I don't know, you guys might know Cardi B, right? Cardi B would be considered popular, right? Women look up to her. What about Megan Thee Stallion? She popular enough? She got enough followers on the gram? Would women, do our women especially look up to her and pattern their behavior after hers? What about Beyonce or I don't know, Wendy Williams? You understand? Like I'm hoping I'm saying, like, I don't know them all, but they all just kind of have this common theme to me, especially in contrast to what the Bible describes as a virtuous woman. But These are women that America puts on a pedestal. And when America puts them on a pedestal, our young sisters, they see that woman being glorified and put on high and praised and money given to them, everybody just, worshiping them. And our little sisters develop this sensation to aspire to be just like them, right? They say, man, I want to be praised. I want to be glorified. I want a bunch of money, right? I don't, I want to be like those women. So we've got elementary school age, you understand, sisters that know all the lyrics to the Cardi B songs. Am I telling you a lie here? Am I making this, is this far-fetched? We've got elementary school girls that know the songs that Megan the Stallion, does. You understand? And I'm going to tell you, I thought about like pulling up some lyrics and going through some of the songs just to kind of hear some of the messaging that these women who are put on high in this land are putting out to our young sisters. But they know these lyrics, and these are some disgusting lyrics, man. These are lyrics that are not befitting for a daughter of Zion. You understand? It is not a message that lines up with what the Most High would consider a virtuous woman. Do you understand? So, all right, let's get back on that. It says, who can find a virtuous woman? Read.
For her price is far above rubies.
Listen, that's one thing that you're going to learn in the ISUPK according to the Bible. You take a woman who's virtuous, and it's not about how much money she makes. You understand? It's not about the physical. It's not about the monetary value associated with that sister. You young brothers, you take that in. You take that real deep into your spirit, and don't let that be a factor that makes you determine if this will be a sister that you're going to deal with or not. You understand? That a sister that interests you, the amount of money she makes, how much money she's bringing in. You understand what her net worth is. That's not a factor that should matter, because I'm gonna tell you, Beyonce's worth millions. Cardi B's worth millions. Wendy Williams is worth millions. But a virtuous woman is worth more. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. It says that her price is far above root. Like, you ever heard of the term priceless? Something that you can't pay for. You understand? The Bible is describing a virtuous woman as something that you really can't even put a monetary amount. You can't put a net worth on her. A net worth just won't do it any justice. Call it millions. That's not enough. A virtuous woman, and we'll get into the scriptures about it, man. Like, I'll just give you a quick comparison. What would be worth more in your eyes, right? And this is just kind of hypothetical. I don't want you to get too, pragmatic with it. But what would be more valuable? A date with Cardi B or the cure for COVID-19? What would be more valuable? What would be more valuable to you? Aliyah? Yeah, like the cure for COVID, you understand? Or like the vaccine. You remember when it was the whole rush? Oh Lord, man. Like, something that could cure a sickness is worth more than someone's popularity. You get what I'm saying? And this is what the Bible is describing. A woman who you can't put a price on her, because what she brings to the table, it is more than just money. You understand? It's a collection of things that it's like a cure for a disease. You understand? All right, let's keep reading.
Verse 11. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her.
The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her. So this is a virtuous woman, right? This is a woman, she's got a husband. And her husband does not have to worry about her ever being a whore, ever going and giving another man attention. Do you know how much, do you know how valuable that is, man? Like that is again, y'all are young, but you brothers out there, tuning in online, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Imagine the type of woman that you don't have to worry about if some sucker sweet talks her, she's gonna fall for it and be, seduced into committing adultery. A sister that can be safely trusted in by her husband is a valuable sister. I pray you understand. Keep reading.
So that he shall have no need of spoil.
Right. He'll have no need of spoil. There's a lot of relationships that get, especially in our community, man, there's a lot of relationships that fall apart over trust issues. You understand? Like trust issues can ruin a relationship. If that brother can't trust that sister when she's out of his sight, that's going to be a hard relationship to manage day in and day out. You understand? Like she might have to go to the grocery store. Like just think about your mom, how often she goes to the grocery store. Imagine every time she goes to the grocery store, the brother that she's married to at home is, or wherever he is just driving himself crazy, wondering if she's being unfaithful to him. You know how damaging that is? You know how that can spoil and ruin a relationship? All right, no sweat. Keep reading.
Verse 12. She will do him good and not evil and not evil all the days of her life.
Right. She would do him good and not evil all the days of her life, man. So she's gonna do. She is a good woman, man. Like she's a good woman that like every sister, and every brother in the school who has made up their mind that they're gonna walk this path, man. There is no turning back from this. Her mind's made up. She's gonna do good by this man. She laid with this man, and she's not gonna go deal with anybody else the rest of her life, man. That is the end of it, man. She is completely content with the decision that she made to lay with this man and make him her husband and to be his wife. And she's going to continue in that pursuit to be a good wife. Now that's a virtuous woman, man. Not a woman who's gonna get tired of him. You understand? Not a woman that's gonna argue with him because he didn't bring her flowers. You understand? Not a woman that's gonna just nag because he's not spending enough time with her, right? Like this woman is going to set out to do good to her husband, because in this society, our women are taught not to do good to their husband. Have you ever heard the very common phrase in this country? And again, it's common too, boy. I'm talking about this thing. If they were to write an American Bible, right, about relationships, this would be page one. I'm sure you've heard it. They say happy wife, happy life. Have you heard of that? You haven't heard of that? Does anyone know what that means? What does it mean when America, you go ask anyone outside of this building to finish this phrase, happy wife, and they'll say happy life. Do you know what that means? What the message is in that? Alaya?
If your wife's happy, then you're doing everything right.
Sorta. What it means is you as a man, well, who would they be saying that to? Who is that message for? The man or the woman? Happy wife, happy life. Yeah, they're talking to the man. It's a message for the men, the brothers, right? Listen up. Happy wife, happy life. What is the message to the man? He better do what if he wants a happy life? Aliyah? You better make your wife happy. You better make your wife happy if you want a happy life. What does it mean on the flip side that's not being said? What if you don't make her happy? What if you don't satisfy everything, every desire she wants? Is she going to be happy? So what does that mean you can expect for your life? I'm what?
Depression.
Depression, man.
Mhm.
So America teaches that if a man doesn't make his wife happy, then he's not going to be able to have a happy life. And that's not what the Bible's talking about. The Bible has it almost, I don't want to say flipped around, but the Bible is talking about a man choosing a woman, a virtuous woman, the type of woman who's going to make her husband happy. Does that make sense? That's a whole different, that's almost the opposite of, you know what I mean? Not the opposite, but that's not the same message. You understand? The messaging is more, a lot of the responsibility now shifts to the sister, right? Anyway, um, man, this, Proverbs chapter 31 is a long chapter, and it's full of how a woman should conduct herself, man, about how she should help her husband, about how she should be resourceful. She should be doing things to help the family. She should be very family oriented, is what this scripture is about. This chapter is about. You could keep reading just a little bit, but there's so many more scriptures I want to get into. Um, Go ahead. 13.
Verse 13. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands.
Seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. Like, this is a woman who will put clothes together if she has to. You understand? She won't. Keep reading.
Verse 14. She is like the merchant's ships. She bringeth her food from afar.
Right? So she's willing to do things with her hands so that her family has clothing, right? She's willing to do whatever it takes to get the food to the family, right? Keep reading.
Verse 15. She riseth also while it is yet night.
So she gets up even when it's dark outside. It's still dark. Keep reading.
And giveth meat to her household.
And she gets up early to make sure that her family's going to eat. She'll get up early to make sure her family's going to eat. Now, is she doing this for Facebook friends? Is she doing this for Instagram followers? Show me the TikTok challenge where a woman is 100% committed to the welfare and the thriving of her family, not her own selfish personal gain. You understand? Like, that's a virtuous woman, man. A virtuous woman is all about what? Is a woman who's more about what opposed to herself?
Her husband and family.
Her husband and family. Give them a hand. Yeah. Let's let that sink in deep. A virtuous woman is a woman whose priority is her husband and her family, man. And I don't mean her papa. I don't mean her mom and her dad. You understand? I don't mean her siblings. When I say her family, I'm talking about her husband and their children. You understand? And their affairs. That's it. She's not worried about the Joneses. She's not worried about, Wendy Williams. She's not worried about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, of Potomac, and the Real Housewives of anywhere else. She is worried about her family, and she's getting the business done for her family. And that's her motivation. That's her mission. You understand? That's virtuous. So many of our sisters get seduced by the American dream, where you could go be what they call it. The feminist movement calls them Go be a woman that doesn't need a man. You understand? Go be a woman that's not, that doesn't want kids, because this woman just wants to be, absolutely just a dominant woman in this world. She doesn't want to be submissive to a man. Her husband submit to her husband. What? That goes against everything American, you know? And we as a people have gobbled up that philosophy and that doctrine, and it has led to the destruction of so many of our families, man. You'd be hard pressed to find a family that hasn't been impacted by that philosophy, where there's a woman in that house that's not virtuous, where there's a woman in that house that cares more about herself than the family. If you have a woman who has left her man because her man has another woman, that is a woman who does not care about the welfare of her house. You understand? If she's willing to put dad out of the house and take that father away from his children, is she putting the children first before herself? Is she putting that man before herself? No, she's putting herself before everybody else. Now you tell me that this isn't an issue that plagues our community. Name five. Don't name them out loud. Of course, we're live online, but think about five. Try to find five of your friends who haven't had that happen to their mother and father, where they had their mother and father still together. A little difficult, right? Yeah, man. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. But that is the way it's supposed to be if you're going to follow the ways of our oppressor. Our oppressor will teach our women that that is the right thing to do. That man cheated on you, he got another woman, kick him out the house, put him on child support, then go get another man who you can be with for a while until you find out that he cheated on you, and then kick him out the house. You understand? Do you see the cycle that our people go through? Because we're not implementing the Most High's culture. Our women haven't learned what it is to be virtuous. You understand? And our women have to be trained up to understand the value in that. You know, there's so much value in that. And we'll talk about some of that value. We could talk about it right now, as a matter of fact. You know what that woman gets when she doesn't put that man out the house? She gets a man. She gets to keep her husband. She gets to keep that man who's going to protect her if someone breaks in. You understand? That man she could call when she's got a flat tire. He going to come get it straight. You get what I'm saying? When there are issues, she's going to be able to keep that man that can give her counsel. You understand? She's going to be able to keep the man, the father of her children, in their lives in a capacity to where he can actually work, raise them children. She'll be able to give her children their father instead of strip them of their father. I mean, that's and she'll get to protect that very precious thing that a woman has. You understand? Which is herself, which is her body, by not going and giving it to the next man, and then the next man, and then the next man. She'll be able to keep that integrity to have been with that man and just committed to that man. She'll be able to keep her integrity. You understand? But our women have to learn that, there are things that we've been taught by our oppressor that are wrong. And there are things that, and there's reasons why it's wrong, And again, a man being able to have more than one woman is one of those things. Our women are taught that, your husband can, they go to the courthouse and they say, it's just going to be the two of us till death do us part, right? Sign here on the dotted line. When the Bible doesn't teach that, that's not what a marriage even is, you know, going to the courthouse and signing a document. According to the Bible, sex is marriage. Okay? So when a man lays with a woman and they have sex, that man just made that woman his wife. That woman just just gave herself to that man to be his wife. She selected him to be her husband that she'll submit to and give herself to. And she'll commit to him and do good for him all the days of her life. You understand? But our women aren't taught that. The Most High will teach you as a young woman, be very selective in who you decide to give yourself to. You don't get to just give yourself to everybody and have what America calls recreational sex. Just use protection. They make whores out of our daughters and our sisters, man. And the Most High wants his daughters to be virtuous, man. She wants them. He requires them to be the wife of one man. That's it. You get one crack at having a husband. You understand? So use some discretion. Use some discretion before you lay with that man. Let's get into a couple of other verses, man. Let me get Ecclesiastes 7:26. And one of you other brothers get me Titus 2:4. Whichever one comes first is fine with me. Aliyah, which one you got? You got Ecclesiastes? All right, let's go ahead and hear that one.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 6.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 6. All right, go ahead.
For as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool.
Keep reading.
This also is vanity.
Ecclesiastes 7:26, sir. Salakia. 7:26.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman.
Say that again.
And I find more bitter than death the woman.
It says, and I find more bitter than death the woman. Now you got to imagine what in the world could be more bitter than death? Like death is bad, right? We can agree. Death ain't the best thing. But there's something worse than death. It says a woman can be more bitter than death. How so? Keep reading.
Whose heart is snares and nets. Whose
heart is snares and nets. So we're talking about, is this talking about a virtuous woman? This is not talking about a virtuous woman. This is describing the type of woman that our oppressor creates. You understand? And influences. This is the type of woman whose heart is snares and nets. This is a woman who, if you fall for everything that she adores and loves, remember that happy wife, happy life? This is a woman who, if you do everything she wants, you're going to be miserable. Everything she loves will destroy you. Everything she's passionate about and cares about will destroy you. And one of the things that our sisters get, very wrapped up in and consumed by is this need for attention. You understand? So you take a woman who wants attention from everybody. She wants attention from all the boys. She wants attention from all the guys. She just loves it. Oh, when they tell her how cute she is and tell her about her figure and, this and that. And I mean, she is just an attention seeker. Oh, she loves it. That is going to be like, as a man who, that's your woman and she's like that, you're going to go insane. Like it will be like being trapped in a net. You understand? It'll be like prison. Like you'll be consumed by what you call it earlier, depression. You will be depressed, man. Keep reading that.
And her hands as bands.
And her hands as bands, man. Like this woman, it'll be like you'll hear y'all are too young. I wish I had some older brothers in this class right now, man. But you'll hear about a brother, you know, back in the day, you know, there would be a brother who, you know, wants to go out with the brothers. You know what I'm saying? You know, the brothers say, man, come on, man, we're going out for a couple drinks, man, come through. And the brother's like, nah, I can't, man. You know, my wife won't let me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my old lady won't let me. My girl won't let me, man. She want me to watch Atlanta Housewives with her instead, man. I can't go with y'all. And they be like, man, she got you on lock, man. Yeah, that woman got you on lock, man. That's terrible, man. You know, and the brothers would clown him about it, but nonetheless, you think that brother's going out? Man, that brother gonna be in there eating popcorn, watching that stuff, man. He is going to be trapped as long as he is with her. You get that? Keep reading a little bit more.
Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her.
Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her. Now we've been learning, man. How do you please God? Aliyah?
You follow his commandments.
You follow his commandments, man. You keep his law. You put on his culture. You brothers put on his culture, and you won't fall for a woman that is like this. Does that make sense? That woman who wants to gobble you up and keep you all to herself and keep you trapped and lock you down and rule over you. Man, you're not, you want no parts of that. You please the Most High. You won't even put yourself in that situation. Does that make sense? Or even if she decides to change her mind for whatever reason and wants to become that type of dragon, you'll be the type of man with a certain type of authority where that won't work. You understand? You'll go have your drinks with the brothers and you'll come back and you'll just deal with whatever she has to say. You understand? You won't be held captive. You get that? Keep reading.
But the sinner shall be taken by her.
The sinner shall be taken by her, man. You go ahead and live that American lifestyle. You brothers, go ahead and be an American, be a proud patriot, adopt all of its customs and its philosophies, and you'll be in prison to a woman. You understand? And it will be more bitter than death. Now, women, is this what you're setting out to do? You understand? Our women, like you got to ask yourself, is this how I'm supposed to be according to the Most High? All right, let's get that next scripture. You got that that other scripture, Titus?
Chapter verse
2, 4 through 5. Nice and loud.
Titus chapter 2, verse 4. That they may teach the young woman.
Who?
The young woman.
What does it mean by teach? What does it mean by teach? Huh?
Kind of inspired.
Yeah, to instruct. So we're supposed to teach the young women to be what?
Sober.
What does sober mean?
Normal. Kind of.
I get what you're saying. Normal. So sober means like not living in a fog. You understand? Not living in a fantasy. Not being high on weed all your life. Not being high on drugs all the damn time. Right? Be clear-minded. Be conscious of what you're doing. You understand? Don't be drunk. Don't be a dumb Moscato sipping, drunk. You understand? Like again, it's nothing wrong with drink, having a drink, but it's not just talking about substances, right? Under no conditions can you smoke weed. Y'all sisters knock that off because that's become very prevalent in our community. You understand? But it's also dealing with just a way when, like, when you're high or when you're drunk, your mind isn't clear. You know what I mean? You're not thinking clearly and logically and soundly. And our women can get high off of fantasies. You understand? Our women can get high off of the idea that, wow, look at Cardi B, man. She's making all that. Is she the one that used to be a stripper?
Mhm.
So she used to be a stripper, and now, now she glorifies that stripper life, and now she's, making all this money, and she's singing these songs, and she barely wears any clothes, right? And they get wrapped up in this. Well, I can do that. That the silly fantasy of aspiration, and just being influenced. We got to teach our young sisters, man, to be sober. Get your head out of the clouds. Just don't fall for the lies that America tells you. You understand? Don't do that. Don't fall. Don't fall for the destructive tactics that our oppressor teaches us. You know, to destroy ourselves. Keep reading.
To love their husbands.
To love who?
Their husbands.
Who?
Their husbands.
Their mother.
Their husbands.
Their father.
Their husbands.
Their cousin.
Their husband.
Their best friend.
Their husband.
Wendy Williams.
Husband.
The Real Housewives.
Husband.
This is very instrumental. Our young women need to understand as they're growing up that when you become an adult, like you're training yourself to be a good wife. You understand? You're going to be the type of woman that can love her husband, man, and be of service to him and be of duty to him. You understand? And be virtuous. You know? Be a family woman. That's what you're being raised to be, a family woman. That's what, but oh Lord, man, our young sisters are being taught something completely different. You know, on TikTok, they are learning to be twerkers. That's it. They're learning to twerk. I think that's about all that there is out there in the world that our sisters give any damns about is twerking. Now, the Most High wants us to have our sisters to be virtuous women. Now, when we go and read Proverbs 31, show me where twerking is a trait of a virtuous woman. How she can shake her body. It's not in there. That's not what the Most High. It's not wise for our sisters to have that as their badge of honor. You know what I mean? Like, being number one in the twerk contest is not valuable. It's worthless in Israel, and it should remain as such. And us brothers, we've got to change our appetite and our luck. I don't want to say luck, but we've got to change our expectations as well. We've got to stop falling, for our own weaknesses and falling for that, and start to search for virtuous women. You understand? We've got to change our criteria of what's attractive. Virtue should be the new attractive in 2021 for you brothers. You understand? Y'all are coming of age, and it's going to be very important that you prioritize your selection and the things that are important, and let virtue be the number one thing, man. Don't let them long eyelashes or that long, that weave. Nothing wrong with it. It's not unlawful. You understand? And to make it, it's nothing wrong with it. It's not unlawful, but don't let that be the number one criteria in you selecting a wife. You understand? Keep reading.
To love their children.
What is it that a virtuous woman makes her priority?
Her husband and family.
Her husband and her family, man. Doesn't it sound like in Titus chapter 2, verse 4, that our young women, they're supposed to be taught this as children, not Cardi B lyrics. You understand? They're supposed to be taught virtue. to be a family woman, like be a family-oriented woman that's not selfish. I'm telling you, America teaches our women to be selfish. Happy wife, happy life. That's a selfish wife, huh? If the only thing she's concerned about is her own happiness, that is definition of selfish. So we get the behavior that we get behind that philosophy. When the Most High teaches our women to put your husband and your children first. Now that's attractive, huh? That's a piece that will benefit a man. Okay? And that is something that you sisters are going to learn preserves you. The Most High will honor that. The Most High will certainly honor your virtue. As with all things, He's not asking you to be virtuous because it's a punishment. You understand? There's safety in there. You know, there's value in it, and it's far above rubies. You understand? Keep reading.
To be verse 5, to be discreet.
To be what?
Discreet.
Discreet. What is discreet? What is discreet? Again, I just want to paint a picture that, again, America's push of how women should be, how it's in stark opposition to the way that the Most High is instructing His daughters to be. Now, these other nations, these women, these Chinese women, you understand? African women, Arab women, white women, who'd I leave out? Italian women, did I leave them out? Australian women, I don't know if they count. They can be however they want, man. But if you're a woman that falls under these 12 tribes, you understand? Cuban, North American Indian, Seminole Indian, Argentinian, Colombian, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Haitian, West Indian, Guatemalan. Listen, the Most High expects you to be virtuous. What's discreet? Go ahead.
Careful and circumspect in one's speech or action,
Okay.
especially in order to avoid causing offense or to gain an advantage.
All right. I'm looking up. In Oxford Dictionary is saying that like discreetly, careful and prudent manner, especially in order to keep something confidential, right? Okay. And to avoid embarrassment. Now you think about how, like you just think about, again, like I said, just think about the twerking videos, right? Just think about how quick our sisters are to just turn their ass around and shake it to all the eyes that can see. You understand? Now, come on now, don't y'all act like, y'all are oblivious to this. This is a very common behavior of our sisters in this place. This is acceptable, appropriate behavior according to our oppressor and his norms. This is the type of behavior that will get you, Salakia, that will get a woman success, so-called success in America, man. This is what, now what is discreet about twerking? Where's the shame? Where's the pride? You understand? Our young women aren't being taught to be discreet. You understand? Another thing, another characteristic that, or another example of that is clothing. Our women are supposed to dress in modest apparel. That's 1 Timothy 2:9. That's a little bit further down. Supposed to dress in modest apparel. But how do our women dress today? Show a lot of skin? A lot of tight clothing? Any questions about what's underneath of it? Or can you see it all?
You can see it.
Well, where the hell is the secrecy? You understand? Where's the discretion? Where's the embarrassment? Where's the cover it up at? American culture teaches our sisters to be indiscriminate. You understand? And very open and very proud about it. Do you see the opposition? You see what we've become opposed to what we've been commanded to do by the Most High? You see how far we are from the mark? And we wonder why we're destroyed. We wonder why our relationships fail, man. We're trying to put together something that is so important with tools that are insignificant and have no value. And the very things that are valuable, a woman who a brother can safely trust that she is not going to cheat on him. You trust her. A woman who's going to cover herself up when she is out in public, man. She is not going out there to show her ass and embarrass him and her family. Those are the tools that make for a lasting and strong relationship, a family that can withstand the test of time. Unlike American relationships, the divorce rate is something to the tune of 75, 80%. And that's not even counting the brothers and sisters who just deal with each other without getting married, and then she put the brother out, or the brother can't take her mouth no more and just leaves his damn self. The way we've been doing it, our oppressor's way, has not worked. And our sisters, again, I'm not blaming, be clear, I'm not blaming any of you sisters, but I am pointing out why the beans keep getting burnt. You understand? You got the heat too high, or you're leaving it on the stove too long. You understand? It's something that the next time you go to make a pot of beans, you don't have to burn the shit. Salakia, you don't have to burn it. You don't have to burn it. You can cook it better, but you got to do something a little bit different. You understand? You can't keep doing the same thing you've been doing and thinking that this time it's going to work. We can't be that dense and that naive. Keep reading.
Chaste.
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 Anyone know what chaste means? Chaste. The definition: abstaining from extramarital or from all sexual intercourse. So, old term they used to use when I was coming up, say, oh man, she fast. She fast. She just doing anything with everybody. The Most High expects his daughters to be chaste. You're not going to be you're not going to be running around doing all that. You understand? The first time you do it, that's going to be your husband. You'll do it as often as y'all please, but it won't be with anyone else outside of him. You understand? But that's not what America teaches our sisters. America teaches our sisters to live your best live your best life. Right? What is it? Megan Thee Stallion had Hot Girl Summer. What y'all come on. What? That wasn't a thing? That wasn't a popular thing? You understand? A lifestyle of indiscriminate sexual activity. Our sisters just doing it with whoever, whenever, however, because they can. It's their bodies. You can't tell me what to do. You can't judge me. You understand? The Most High ain't pleased, and our people are destroyed because of it. Keep reading.
Keepers at home.
Keepers where?
At home.
On Facebook.
At home.
Instagram.
At home.
At the club.
At home.
Happy hour.
At home.
Ladies' night.
At home.
It ain't that complex. At home. Keep your home. Let that be your priority, man. You know, and it kills me the amount of beefs that sisters get into with each other. With, you know, their little friend group. Someone in the friend group is always beefing with someone else in the friends group, man. You understand? Like it's like what it says, like trying to mix oil and water, right? Like some things just don't mix. A bunch of women just kind of doing their own little thing is going to be disastrous, man. Let's get that home right. Let's focus on home. You understand? Those friends that you're gonna be bickering with and all pissed off with, then coming home taking it out on your old man. Good Lord, let's not do that. Just an idea. Keep reading.
Good.
Good. That's simple enough to understand. Be a good woman.
Obedient to their own husbands.
Be obedient to your own husband. You know, there's so many women who have a husband, but they'll listen to so many outside influences. You know, they'll call into the Wendy Williams show about a problem with their husband, and Wendy will say, "Oh no, don't stand for that. Leave him," and they'll leave him. That woman will go talk to the pastor at the church and tell the pastor that her husband, you know, he you know, ever since he got out of jail, he said he was going to do better. He said he was going to get a job. He still ain't got no job. And the pastor will say, well, a man that don't work, don't eat. Kick him out the house.
Yeah.
You understand? Get him out of there. You can do better. You understand? What they say, you can do better all by yourself.
That's what it says.
Listen, the Most High don't teach our women to be like that, man. Be obedient to your husband, job or not. That's your husband. You laid with him. You gave him of yourself. All right, we're gonna jump to again. A lot of this is about, you know, relationships. Let me get 1 Peter 3:1 quickly. Let me get 1 Corinthians 11:3.
What am I looking up for Peter? First Peter.
3:1.
What's the other one?
1 Corinthians 11:3. We're gonna hit these quick. Go ahead.
First Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Likewise, ye wives.
Ye who?
Wives.
Wives. Go ahead.
Be in subjection to your own husband.
To who?
Your own husband.
Subjection. What is subjection? What is subjection?
Respectful. Obedient.
Respect. Obedient would be a good term. You understand? Like he's going to be he's your boss. You do what he says, man. You understand? You submit. You subject yourself to your husband, right? Keep reading.
That if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wise.
Yeah. Fair enough. Let's get 1 Corinthians
Chapter verse.
11:3. And then I want you to grab Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha 26:2. We're actually going to jump around in there a little bit, but that'll be the last few scriptures we had. All right.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. Go ahead.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
So the head of every man is Christ. Ladies, sisters, this is, akwathium. This is important. You find you a man who has Christ as his head. You find you a man that serves the Most High. You understand? That would behoove you in any decision you make moving forward. You sisters, make sure you find a man who allows his head to be Christ. That man who's going to serve the Most High and keep the laws. You understand? Go ahead.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of the woman is the man. So if the man's going to answer to Christ and do what Christ ordered and commanded under the Most High, that man is going to be the head of that woman. He's going to be in charge of that woman. He's going to be the decision maker for her. You get what I'm saying? There's so many decisions that we men can't make because Christ says you can't do that. You understand? There's so many times a brother might cross us or do something to us, and we want to knock his head off. But Christ said you can't do that. You can't go, smacking brothers upside the head because, they scuffed your sneaker. You understand? There are things we can't do. We have to answer to what Christ says we can and can't do. You understand? And what the Most High says we can and can't do. The same way that our women have to obey us and what we say you can and can't do. You understand? And again, we're not going to, that man whose head is Christ isn't going to tell you that you can do something that's unlawful. You understand? And if it's something that, isn't unlawful, again, it might just be his preference. And you're going to have to rock with his preference. You understand? So if he don't like them eyelashes, you understand? You shouldn't be rocking them eyelashes. You get that? If he don't want you to pierce that nose, then I guess you won't be getting a nose piercing. You understand? That man's going to be the head. You get that? All right. Any more on that?
And the head of Christ is God.
Yeah, the head of Christ is God, man. He answers to the Most High. So Christ, the Most High is over Christ. Christ is over the man, and the man is over the woman. You got that right? Now imagine the Christian church teaching our women to rule over men. You understand? Imagine America teaching the philosophy that in a relationship, it's 50-50. The man and the woman, it's like a democracy where we're both here. Is that what the Bible just described? The Bible just, now just imagine the types of problems you have when you're here, right? She wants McDonald's, he wants Burger King. Well, where are we going to go? How are we going to make decisions if we don't agree? And it's 50-50. You see the conflict? Now, let's say it's according to the Most High. She wants McDonald's. He wants Burger King. She's a virtuous woman. Where's the family going? See how simple that is? You see how there's no argument? You see how there's no fighting? You get that? You see how simple it's supposed to be? Any more on that? That was the end of that verse? All right, that's too wild. All right, you got that in Ecclesiasticus, man? We're going to run through a few scriptures. You got it?
Yeah.
26:2? Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse 2. A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband.
She does what?
Rejoiceth her husband.
She rejoiceth her husband, man. A virtuous woman. She rejoices in her husband's glory, man. You understand? She understands that her husband's glory is her glory too. But she's not going to be on the pedestal. She's not going to be on the podium. She's not going to be the one that everybody's cheering for. The attention won't be for her. But that's her man up there. The Bible says that when man, when that man lays with that woman and they get married, they become one body, man. You understand? They become one flesh. So when he's getting his glory, guess who else is getting that glory?
Virtuous woman.
The virtuous woman. And she understands that. But you know what, in America, what the woman wants to do? You know what Wendy Williams and her husband beefed over? They were competing for the success and things like that. You understand? Like a lot of these, rich women get into it with their, partners or spouses or whatever, because, he's making more money than her. She's making more money than him. And, there's this competition thing going on. Like, what is going on here? When that's not the way it's supposed to be. She's supposed to rejoice in her husband, right? Keep reading.
And he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace.
And he shall fulfill the life of his years, the years of his life in peace. How much would you pay for peace? How much does peace cost at Walmart? How much does peace cost on Amazon? They don't sell peace. How much does it cost to take a rocket into outer space? How much? Yeah, take what, 26 million, something like that, with 250,000. You could catch a ride with Bezos, something like that. I know I ain't too far off, right? You catch a flight out. How much does peace cost? Ain't no price. But that virtuous woman can provide that to her husband, man. You understand? You women want to accomplish something. You sisters want to do something worthwhile. Be virtuous, man. Be virtuous. Invest in your family with a type of commitment that money can't buy. You understand? And with that, I'm gonna end the class. We might do a part 2 on this, depending on you know what I'm saying, whatever the requests are. There's a couple other topics that we discussed in the past few weeks. You know what I'm saying? That I was thinking about doing a part 2. You know, follow up on. This will be another one of them, man. I think it's deserving of it. Again, our people need this lesson. You understand? Our sisters need this, and our brothers need this lesson as well. You understand? We've been taught to desire the Nicki Minaj's. You understand? And the Cardi B. We've been taught to desire that naked woman that's walking, out in public. You understand? Like, we've been taught to desire that, and we have to learn. We have to change the way we think. You understand? And it's a wisdom to it. You understand? And with that, I'll say Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shabbarakatham to the Akim, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai to all the Akwathium. And with that, Shalom.